What's up, Freckle family? It's Monday, June 27th, and I'm your daily trivia host, Ian Feiner, aka Lord Trivia himself. Freckle Daily Trivia consists of 5 everyday questions with weekly rotating topics. Each day you play earns you a raffle ticket towards amazing prizes, including NFT airdrops, whitelist toys, collectibles, and more. This week's topic is pop culture trivia, so I'll be asking you all things about pop culture. Check out our Discord announcements for this week's NFT-related prizes, but we're also giving out pop culture art prints, Funko Pop toys, apparel, and more. Let's get it started with this week's first question. Question 1. Who is the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air? Is it A, Chris Rock, B, Samuel L. Jackson, C, Richard Pryor, or D, Will Smith? Well, slap me silly and call me Chris Rock, because the answer is D, Will Smith. One of the biggest movie stars of all time, who had leading roles in Men in Black, Ali, and Independence Day, has since seen some career trouble after physically assaulting and slapping Chris Rock on stage this year at the Academy Awards ceremony. Will Smith has since been banned from the Academy and lost many motion picture starring roles. Moving on to question 2, what is not one of the names of Kanye West and Kim Kardashian's children? Is it A, North, B, Saint, C, Psalm, or D, Brooklyn? Well, love him or hate him, but Kanye West is an icon of our time, and his short-lived marriage with Kim Kardashian still gave him 4 children, one of which was never named D, Brooklyn. His 4th child is in fact named Chicago. The next question is question 3. What hard seltzer took the world by storm, but then faced a shortage in 2019? Is it A, Truly, B, White Claw, C, LaCroix, or D, High Noon? Well, the hard seltzer craze was something that I certainly took part in, and while my favorite hard seltzer is High Noon, the one that faced a massive shortage is in fact B, White Claw. The summer of 2019 was known as a White Claw summer, and the hard seltzer absolutely flew off the shelves and became a pop culture phenomenon. Let's move on to question 4. What TV show aired the first interracial kiss in the United States? Is it A, The Simpsons, B, Friends, C, Star Trek, or D, Happy Days? Well, most Trekkies will know that the answer is C, Star Trek. Featuring a hot and steamy kiss between Captain Kirk and Uhura, this scene essentially reversed the racial stigma of interracial behavior on screen and became a catalyst for a major cultural shift in television programming. Final question of the day: who invented the Super Soaker? Is it A, Thomas Edison, B, Lonnie G. Johnson, C, Hendrik Kleinberg, or D, Sung J. Kang? On a hot summer day, there's nothing quite like a Super Soaker, but the humble beginnings of the children's toy started in the basement and bathroom of NASA, created by NASA engineer B, Lonnie G. Johnson. And that concludes our first day of Pop Culture Trivia. I've been your host, Ian Feiner, and thank you so much for playing today. Make sure you jump in our Discord server, discord.gg/Freckle, to be included in our weekly prize raffle. We'll see you again tomorrow for another round of Daily Trivia. What's up, Freckle family? It's Tuesday, June 28th, and I'm your Daily Trivia host, Ian Feiner, aka Lord Trivia himself. Freckle Daily Trivia consists of 5 everyday questions with weekly rotating topics. Each day you play earns you a raffle ticket to amazing weekly prize draws, including NFT airdrops, whitelists, toys, collectibles, and more. This week's topic is pop culture trivia, so I'll be asking you about all things related to pop culture. Check out our Discord announcements for this week's NFT-related prizes, but we are also giving out pop culture art prints, Funko Pop toys, apparel, and more. First question of the day, question 1. What popular comic strip started trick-or-treat culture? Is it A, Garfield, B, The Peanuts, C, Calvin and Hobbes, or D, The Far Side? Well, created by Charles M. Schulz in the 1950s, the answer is B, The Peanuts. The Peanuts, featuring Charlie Brown, Linus, Lucy, and of course, Snoopy, featured their holiday specials, and Halloween started the pop culture phenomenon known as trick-or-treating. Question 2. LVMH stands for Louis Vuitton, Monet, and what company? Is it A, Hennessy, B, Harrods, C, Hilfiger, or D, Hermes? The answer is A, Hennessy. LVMH is one of the largest luxury conglomerates in the world that contains 60 different brands, including Christian Dior, Kenzo, Hermes, Tag Heuer, Dom Perignon, and Bulgari. The list goes on and on and on. LVMH rules the fashion and luxury world. Moving on to question 3. What movie star sang Happy Birthday to President John F. Kennedy? Is it A, Dolly Parton, B, Shirley Temple, C, Mary Tyler Moore, or C, Marilyn Monroe, or D, Mary Tyler Moore? Well, happy birthday, Mr. President. The answer is C. Marilyn Monroe and Kennedy shared a somewhat public and somewhat secret relationship, and it's rumored that JFK had a secret underground entrance to the White House that he used to meet with Monroe. I'm excited to learn more about Monroe's incredible life in the upcoming Netflix film by Andrew Dominique. Moving on to question 4. Where did Britney Spears and Ryan Gosling both start their road to fame? Is it A, the Mickey Mouse Club, B, Nick at Night, C, Cartoon Network, or D, Broadway? Well, the answer is A, the Mickey Mouse Club, a variety television show that gave us many famous stars, including Gosling and Spears. The show also is known for giving a start to the likes of Justin Timberlake and Kirsten Dunst. Mickey Mouse Club for the win. And the final question of the day, who was the third man to walk on the moon? Is it A, Alan Bean, B, Alan Shepard, C, Buzz Aldrin, or D, Charles Conrad? Well, everyone knows that the first man to walk on the moon was Lance Armstrong, and hopefully most of you know that Buzz Aldrin was the second. But the third man to walk on the moon was D, Charles Conrad. Conrad was the commander of the Apollo 12 mission in 1969. And that concludes our day of pop culture trivia. I've been your host, Ian Feiner. Thank you so much for playing, and make sure you jump in our Discord, discord.gg/Freckle, to be included in our weekly prize raffles. We'll see you again tomorrow for another round of daily pop culture trivia, and thanks for playing. What's up, Freckle family? It's Wednesday, June 29th, and I'm your daily trivia host, Ian Feiner, aka Lord Trivia himself. Freckle Daily Trivia consists of 5 everyday questions with weekly rotating topics. Each day you play earns you a raffle ticket towards amazing weekly prize draws like NFT whitelists, airdrops, merch, toys, collectibles, and more. This week's topic is pop culture trivia, so I'll be asking you all things related to, you guessed it, pop culture. Check out our Discord announcements for this week's NFT-related prizes, but we are also giving out pop culture art prints, Funko Pop toys, apparel, and more. Let's get it started with the first question of the day. Question 1. What city does the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade take place? Is it A, San Francisco, B, Los Angeles, C, New York City, or D, Chicago? Well, starting in 1924, the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade takes place in Macy's Herald Square in New York City, and has been a staple of National Turkey Day ever since. Next question, question 2. What art technique did Andy Warhol popularize? Is it A, screen printing, B, impressionism, C, caricatures, or D, graffiti? Well, the answer is A, silk screen printing. This commercial process allowed Warhol to easily reproduce the images he appropriated from popular culture. Many other artists at the time were not very big fans of Warhol or this technique, as it allowed him to mass produce artwork for sale and detracted from the fine art culture. Moving on to the next question, question 3. What is the most viewed YouTube video of all time? Is it A, Shape of You, B, the Baby Shark Dance, C, Despacito, or D, Gangnam Style? Well, the answer is B, the Baby Shark Dance, released in 2016 with over 10 billion views on YouTube. This children's video is by far the most viewed video of all time. Shape of You, Despacito, and Gangnam Style are all in the top 10, but nothing can stop the Baby Shark Dance. Let's head to question 4. What is the name of the dog from the TV sitcom Full House? Is it A, Rocket, B, Rover, C, Comet, or D, Beverly? Well, the answer is C, Comet. Taking place in San Francisco and starring Bob Saget, the Olsen twins, and John Stamos, Full House ran for 8 seasons and is one of the most popular sitcoms of all time. The show was recently rebooted with a sequel on Netflix entitled Fuller House that itself ran for 5 seasons. And now, for question 5, the final question of the day, what is the name of the sheep that was successfully cloned in 1996? Is it A, Baby, B, Mary, C, Dolly, or D, Harley? Well, the first mammal to successfully be cloned was a Finnish Dorset sheep by the name of C, Dolly. Contrary to popular belief, she was not the first animal to ever be cloned, but it certainly stirred up a massive controversy in the mid to late 90s. She sadly passed on in 2003, but her body was, however, preserved and is on display at the National Museum of Scotland. And that concludes today's round of pop culture trivia. I've been your host, Ian Feiner, and thank you so much for playing today. Make sure you jump in our Discord server, discord.gg/Freckle, to be included in our weekly prize raffles. We'll see you again tomorrow for another round of Pop Culture Daily Trivia. Thank you so much for playing. What's up, Freckle family? It's Thursday, June 30th. It's a hot one today, and I'm your daily trivia host, Ian Feiner, aka Lord Trivia himself. Freckle Daily Trivia consists of 5 everyday questions with weekly rotating topics. Each day you play earns you raffle tickets towards amazing weekly prize draws, including NFT airdrops, whitelist, toys, merchandise, collectibles, and more. Our prize list just keeps getting better and better. This week's topic is pop culture trivia, so I'll be asking you all things related to pop culture. Check out our Discord announcements channel for this week's NFT-related prizes. We are also giving out pop culture art prints, Funko Pop toys, apparel, and more. Let's begin with the first question of today's trivia. Question 1, who created the Harlem Shake? Is it A, Albert Albi Boyce, B, The Migos, C, Lil Jon, or D, Filthy Frank? Well, though popularized by Filthy Frank on YouTube, the creator of the Harlem Shake is in fact A, Albert B. Boyce. Originally called the Albee, Albert Boyce is credited with creating the dance in 1981 when he performed it in between rounds at the Entertainers Basketball Classic in Rucker Park. The dance was later renamed the Harlem Shake when it started to become popular outside of its originating neighborhood. I had no idea the Harlem Shake is that old. Next question, question 2. What is Elvis Presley's favorite sandwich? Is it A, a peanut butter, banana, and bacon sandwich, B, a grilled cheese, C, a Philly cheesesteak, or D, the Fluffernutter? Well, this question is making me hungry. The answer is A. Elvis's favorite sandwich was in fact a peanut butter sandwich with slices of banana and pieces of bacon. If you've never tried this sandwich, I will personally say that it is absolutely delicious, and I might make myself one later today after the show. Moving on to question 3, Pamela Anderson's famous sex tape was with what famous rock and roll drummer? Was it A, Dave Grohl, B, Neil Peart, C, Tommy Lee, or D, Chad Smith? Well, the playmate and star of the original Baywatch series, Pam Anderson, skyrocketed to a pop culture icon when her sex tape with Motley Crue drummer C, Tommy Lee, was stolen by a handyman and distributed across the internet. It's a pretty wild story that has been dramatized in Hulu's series titled Pam and Tommy. If you haven't seen it, I would suggest checking it out because the story is absolutely nuts. Moving on to question 4, what US president famously said, "I am not a crook"? Is it A, George Bush, B, Richard Nixon, C, Bill Clinton, or D, Ronald Reagan? Well, the answer is B, Richard Nixon, who said the now infamous statement, "I am not a crook," when defending himself during the Watergate scandal. Richard Nixon was in fact the second president to ever be successfully impeached before stepping down, with the first being Andrew Johnson. Final question for the day. What band sued the peer-to-peer music pirating service Napster, citing copyright infringement? Is it A, the Beatles, B, Metallica, C, the Rolling Stones, or D, the Foo Fighters? Well, the answer is B, Metallica. Metallica was the first band of many to sue the peer-to-peer music service Napster, which was created by Sean Parker in 1999. Parker was also the first president of Facebook and now sits on the board of popular streaming music service Spotify. And that concludes today's round of Pop Culture Trivia. I've been your host, Ian Feiner, and thank you so much for playing. As always, make sure you jump in our Discord server, discord.gg/Freckle, to be included in our weekly prize raffles. And we'll see you again tomorrow for another round of Pop Culture Daily Trivia. Thanks so much for playing, and see you tomorrow. What's up, Freckle family? It's Friday, July 1st. Happy July. And I'm your daily trivia host, Ian Feiner, aka Lord Trivia himself. Freckle Daily Trivia consists of 5 everyday questions with weekly rotating topics. Each day you play earns you raffle tickets towards amazing weekly prizes, including NFT airdrops, whitelists, merchandise, collectibles, toys, and more. This week's topic is pop culture trivia, so I'll be asking you all things related to pop culture. Check out our Discord announcements for this week's NFT-related prizes. We are also giving out pop culture art, Funko Pop toys, apparel, and more. The first question is about my favorite TV show ever. What does Dunder Mifflin sell in the TV show The Office? Is it A, printers, B, paper, C, phone books, or D, greeting cards? Well, Dunder Mifflin in Scranton, Pennsylvania sells B, paper. Now I can go on and on and on and on and on and on and on about how incredible and popular this show is, but I will just instead say that I deserve a Dundie Award for the world's greatest trivia host. Moving on to question 2. What was the original name of the Rubik's Cube? Is it A, the Magic Cube, B, Puzzle Box, C, Puzzle Cube, or D, Color Match? Well, who doesn't love a good Rubik's Cube? Because the answer is A, the Rubik's Cube was called the Magic Cube. The puzzle has certainly gained worldwide fame since its invention in 1974 by Hungarian sculptor and professor Erno Rubik. Now let's move on to our puzzle. Moving on to question 3. Who wrote the Game of Thrones books? Is it A, J.R.R. Tolkien, B, J.K. Rowling, C, J.D. Salinger, or D, George R.R. Martin? The answer is, of course, D, George R.R. Martin. The Game of Thrones series was highly popularized by the HBO show of the same name, but Game of Thrones is actually the title of the first book in a series known as A Song of Fire and Ice. There are still 2 more books left to complete the series, but it takes George R.R. Martin years to write each one. Who knows when he'll complete the entire series? Moving on to question 4. Before going on to found Tesla and SpaceX, Elon Musk was a co-founder of what company? Is it A, Wells Fargo, B, PayPal, C, Ask Jeeves, or D, GoDaddy? Well, Elon Musk is certainly a titan of industry. Love him or hate him, his endeavors are changing the world every day. Most recently, he is trying to buy Twitter for a whopping $40 billion, but it is rumored that the deal may never go through. And I never announced the answer. The answer is B, PayPal. Sorry about that, everybody. Final question for our week of pop culture trivia. What company did not make cell phones in the 1980s? Is it A, Motorola, B, Nokia, C, Sony, or D, Technophone? Well, the answer is C, Sony. Motorola, Nokia, and Technophone were the 3 producers of the earliest cell phones in the 1980s. Carbon dating myself here, but who remembers the Motorola StarTAC flip phone? Yikes, cut me open and count the rings. And that concludes our week of pop culture themed daily trivia. I've been your host, Ian Feiner, and thank you so much for playing with us this week. Make sure, as always, you jump in our Discord, discord.gg/Freckle to be included in our weekly prize raffles. And we'll see you after the weekend for another week of daily trivia. Thanks for playing and see you Monday.